It's time for a brand new universe pack, and as you can see from the 3 selected characters that I have displayed, at least in the thumbnail that I made, I have so much fun making these and creating them with different designs, playing around with different characters, and I think this is yet another unique pack, don't you guys think? Because we have an iconic protagonist or a hero, or basically a hero, or maybe 2 heroes, protagonists if you want to consider it that. You got an iconic hero, and then we have a Nick Jr. character that people want to see that I selected, and I also grew up watching the show. We got the whole wide world to explore. Y'all remember the intro for the Backyardigans? The Backyardigans. All right. So we're gonna get it started, and we also have a villain that I would like to see in this game, and something else that doesn't have anything to do with the universe pack. I want to say, see the screen? I wish they would update. They got some space at the little top left, upper right hand corner, bottom left, and bottom right corner. They can add in Hugh Neutron, Genie, and then Rocco to come up on the screen as well to update it, and even the application itself when you play it on your PlayStation, it can be updated. They can do it like that if they want to, but it'll be cool to see those newer characters because we have so much more in the game now. Shredder, Garfield, see what I'm saying? Almost forgot about them. They were the first free characters. But in this video, we're just going to talk about the 3 characters that I selected for this brand new universe pack and more, why I selected them and things like that. But let's go ahead.
Select your fighter.
And some people are asking, where was Hugh Neutron? The video for the rocket power. That was because I had made that video before we found out Hugh Neutron's official release date, before he got revealed, and so much more, days prior. So that's why. So now you can be able to see all the updated roster and the characters, because it's more of a current video from being Tuesday. But you guys won't see this until Tuesday. Well, sometime tonight, being Tuesday. But well, look, it's just loading. I never seen it do this before, spinning. But I guess y'all can, I can keep that on the screen. Maybe I can fix it, can I? Nope, it's just loading. I never seen this happen. It's like a slime spiral. But to get started with this universe pack, I plan to make more of these. And there's so many universe packs that they can create. I hope we can get enough support where we can get a brand new universe pack made for a second universe pack and many more to allow the game to grow. There's so many good characters, and just as you can see from the screen being expanded, we have so many new characters like Hugh Neutron. I'll just put him on the screen. That's been recently added into the game this past weekend. So now we have so much more potential to continue to grow, to expand in the roster. We got a Jimmy Neutron rep. We got somebody from My Life as a Teenage Robot and more. But let's start talking about this universe pack. We got T.U.F.F. Puppy kicking it off, and if you guys watch this show, it wasn't just Dudley Puppy, it was a crew, and these particular agents, or this group, were always protecting the city and stopping the villains and more. I don't remember all the characters in the show from all the potential baddies and villains or antagonists, but he was with Kitty Capswell, his partner in crime. Dudley Puppy is the main protagonist from the show. Dudley Puppy is always around Kitty Capswell. They get along, and sometimes they'll argue, but little did people know they're really close, and they're really tight with each other, being partners and more. So Dudley Puppy is the newest character that I selected for this brand new universe pack for DLC that they can include. We don't have a T.U.F.F. Puppy rep on the screen. We don't have one in the roster. I think he's one of the most requested characters that people want to see in the game, and just one of many iconic shows that we can implement. And it's not even just his physical combat abilities. With Dudley Puppy, he can fight with different gadgets that they use, those blasters and the grapple hook gun, and so much more that he could probably use to recover. And I even talked about Kitty Catwell, his partner in crime, that I'll also share going towards the end of this video, that you guys can check out if y'all want to. It's because I made a moveset and character ideas for her for some T.U.F.F. Puppy DLC to talk about the mini gadgets that they can use, so that can also reference some of the things that he can also use in the mix of other things for his offensive capability. But I think he's going to be a good character. I think a lot of people will buy this game because of him being T.U.F.F. Puppy fans and a fan of the character and just the show. A lot of people love watching the show, and they play favorites between Dudley Puppy and Kitty Caswell from the two partners in crime. But I really hope they can get him. I hope they can get somebody from that show to rep him, to rep the show, and just moving forward. Just again, not everybody would say Nick Jr. characters belong, because this is just a little kiddie show and more, but they have so much potential. I really think they do. And just like I mentioned with Dora the Explorer, Blue has it from Blue's Clues. They have a lot of characters that have the character potential to be able to shine and so much more. And I selected this time. I selected Pablo from the Backyardigans, and I want to play the song, but I don't want to get in trouble. Just a little bit of the song that they sing every time. They sing it every episode when they finish. When they finish the episodes or their adventure, we got the whole wide world to explore. They're gonna have Pablo and whoever else they can get from the Backyardigans. They're gonna have the whole Nickelodeon roster to explore and destroy. And I think Pablo would be a lot of fun to play with and be implemented in this game. A nice little character design. I love the character models that they done for these their most recent DLC characters. They're very well done. And just looking at the colors, just Jenny for example and Hugh Neutron, it looks very well done. And just imagine Pablo being in this game for his character model. He's a blue penguin, but it's just like he could still be able to shine even if he's a Nick Jr. character. They got a lot of characters from Nick Jr. that they can put in. It doesn't have to be the Backyardigans. It doesn't even have to be Dora the Explorer, who was part of my first universe pack. But it's something different for them, for the developers to really expand the roster. I said the roster, little rascal, like rascal. But anyway, they can expand the roster with Nick Jr. characters. So it doesn't have to be, well, it's a Nickelodeon show, another Nickelodeon show, but you could still get some good characters like Blue and the Backyardigans or someone from Dora the Explorer, Oswald, Bob the Builder. It goes on and on with all the potential. Some people want to see Max and Ruby in this game. See what I'm talking about? So they can definitely get Pablo from Backyardigans. So I selected him as a potential character from a Nick Jr. character to get in on my next brand new universe pack for some variety and something different. Someone that's unpredictable, someone that's going to be least expected that you wouldn't expect to see in a game like this. And everybody got different opinions, but I would strongly recommend at least maybe one or two Nick Jr. characters. If they can get somebody from Nick Jr., maybe Pablo could be one of them, Dora, and so much more. But everyone has different opinions. It's a Nickelodeon fighting game or a platform fighter. It was supposed to be Nickelodeon characters only, but it's still Nick Jr. and it's still part of them. So why not? So I'm sure they could probably do something. And at least from a new game that's coming up, a new game from Nickelodeon Kart Racers 3, I heard that Nick Jr. characters are actually part of the roster. See what I'm talking about? It means that the potential is there. Yeah, it's a racing game, but if they getting up in that game potentially, what's stopping them from getting in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl? Or at least get a couple reps for you to shine to expand that roster. It'll be nice. I think Pablo would be a great choice. And being a fan of Backyardigans, I grew up watching the show. I think he'll be a good character. But to wrap up, we're going to talk about my life as a teenage robot. We're gonna wrap up with this series. You got Jenny Wakeman. How about let's get the queen herself, the main antagonist, or one of them at least, to take on Jenny Wakeman. We can do a Jenny versus Vexus sort of showdown, CPU showdown. A Jenny with her character model. That Queen Vexus is gonna look great in this game, and also considering the fact we don't even have that many villains in the game. You got Shredder and Zim. So who else you got that's a villain? I'll wait. You just don't know. There's nobody else. Well, of course you're gonna already know because there's only two villains. Everybody else on the screen or everybody else in the roster is a protagonist or a hero with some kind of superpower or special combat abilities like the Ninja Turtles. Everybody in this game is a protagonist, and you just have barely any villains. Why not add Queen Vexus to rival and showdown and clash with Jenny Wakeman in the showdown? That'll be amazing. Let's get Queen Vexus in here. They got a lot of people that they can get. It's other villains from the Ninja Turtle series. It's other plenty of villains that they can get that a lot of people want to see, like Man Ray for SpongeBob and the Dirty Bubble and so much more. Doodle Bob. They can really upgrade the roster. The lack of villains in this game is some kind of, I would say, is lacking. We need some villains. We need some antagonist characters coming up here in the roster to raid the these heroes and stop them from taking over. So I would definitely like to see more villains make it and make the cut in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. And I think Queen Vexus would be a really good character, and that's why I put her in. You know, why not go back into her universe to bring a villain? Doesn't have to be a protagonist. Let's get some more villains from these shows to be able to allow the roster to shine even more. I'm not sure how many villains they're going to end up getting. Vlad Plasmius, Danny Phantom. They got a lot of villains. They got a lot of amazing special villains that they can have. They have a lot of great villains with all these different powers. They're going to look good in this game. Even with Danny Phantom, with his alternate costume and more, they can do so much more with it. But that's gonna conclude this universe pack that I came up with. But let me know what you guys think of these characters. So just a little rerun. We got Dudley Puppy from T.U.F.F. Puppy from that series. A Nick Jr. character, yet another one. I think this is the second one I selected. And then, well, so far for the series. And then for Pablo from Backyardigans. And then we got a villain to in closing to wrap it up. To wrap up the universe pack with someone that's iconic and devious to try to come into the roster to stop Jenny Wakeman. So it'll be perfect, and they can have unique voice lines with each other, unique dialogue. So Jenny can say something special to Queen Vexus and vice versa. Queen Vexus might even be able to reference Jenny Wakeman in the arcade for a voice line, even if it's not a special back and forth sort of dialogue or interaction. She could still be able to reference and bring her name up, and it's like she's looking for her. And if she does run into her, it could be something. It's finally you, and I'm finally here to stop you. Things like that. They can really just really change the dialogue a little bit more and just have those special interactions when they come in encounter with someone that they know from their world. But let me know what y'all think about this universe pack tonight. So we got Dudley Puppy, Pablo, and then Queen Vexus to wrap up for this brand new universe pack.